was Mirai and Mai Sakurai defending the TwinStar Championships against Utami Hayashishita and Koki Amare. I was on the edge of my seat, folks. This was what it was all about. Listen. I didn't know how good I did. I expected this to be great. I really did, because Koki's made the strides. Utami's great no matter what people try to say. Mirai and Mai Sakurai are a great tag team, but this exceeded expectations. This was superb. Koki was fantastic. Utami was fantastic. Mirai was out there to kill, folks. She took people's heads off. She said, "We're going to hurt you." That's what she said. As the moment she stepped out there, she clocked Utami 3 times with lariats. One of the ones, she did the roll through, jumping lariat to Utami. I leaped out of my chair. I was like, "End it. That's it. Finish it." It was like 15 minutes into the 30-minute match. Yeah, which was crazy, but like unbelievable spot. Utami was just on her game. I think the problem for Utami is people just like don't like that she's just really good. Like, and that when I say that is like she makes it look so effortless. She kind of has the Hashimoto Veni thing where, like, sometimes she's just like, let me do whatever.
I think that because she's so stoic and she's not like an outgoing personality, that it kind of gets her that boring label for a lot of people, especially in a single setting, which is unfair, but I can understand why that may be an issue for a lot of people. But like, she's so good. She's great in tag matches. Like, this might be a hot take. It might not be, because obviously a lot of people don't like these two. Like, it's very polarizing. They usually don't like these two, but I honestly think the interactions with Mirai and Utami in this match was a lot better than their actual Dream Star match. It benefited from a better crowd for sure. And surprisingly, as much as I don't like draws, the pacing to this one was really good, to where by the time it ended, I was like, "What? It's over?" All
I said was, "I need a cigarette."
I don't know if you peeped the one spot. I love the imperfections in pro wrestling, if they're not just super funny. There was a spot where Koki messes up, like my Irish whips her, and she's gonna like big boot her, and like Koki stops, and Maya's just like, "What the fuck?" So she just runs, forearms her in the chest, throws her out, and then drop kicks her in her ribs. It's so sick. Koki did a like ripcord SmackDown versus Raw RKO, and it was awesome. Maya and Koki, surprisingly, I thought they were tremendous together. I thought they were a great pairing throughout this whole match. I loved everything they did. One of Koki's extensions fell out when she did that spinning Canadian backbreaker into the net breaker. I don't know if you peeked it. I was like, what went flying? That was her extension. The crowd was just rocking the entire match. Even as we crept onto the time limit, Maya had the like out of control STF as the bell rang. The crowd was rowdy, and then it just ends, and I was just like, man, when is the tag league? When is the
tag league? Whoever told Koki to just stiff people with the boots moving forward, God bless. Because like when she just gets into that mode, I'm just like, yeah, get her. And then like, it's good because, and I said this to you guys. It's like, if you told me at the beginning of the year I'd be on the edge of my seat from my Sakurai and Koki Amari exchanges, I'd be like, you're joking.
I'd have been like, leave it alone.
But like, they were awesome in this match. Mirai, once again, though, like, proves to me, like, you put her in a match, you put her in a big match, she's gonna hit an absolute home run. Like, she's just been unbelievable in Marigold. Like, she did a Rainmaker to Utami at the end of the match, and I was like, eat your heart out, Okada. You look like shit compared to that one. That's crazy. This was fantastic. Like, legitimately fantastic tag team match.
They are not the tag team of the year, but you have to give Mirai Saku some notoriety, or
they started earlier.
Yeah.
If they started earlier, it'd be a hell of a conversation,
Yeah.
Because every match they have is must see.
they have the challenge of making these tag titles as the first champions, and they have done more than that.
Yeah. This was great. I mean, again, you just got to applaud again the growth of Mai Sakurai, the growth of Koki. Obviously, you have the other two, which you can just lean on at all times. That's what Marigold has done and continues to do. Just an absolute home run of a match. A good draw, like you said. I was like, no, we're running out of time. I don't want this to run out of time. I was like, just keep going. And they, like you said, paced it very, very well because the early going was good. And it just set up for an incredible last 10 minutes, especially. So awesome match there.
Marigold's bread and butter has been their tag matches, and I hope it stays that way because as a foundation, it's great. It's it's very hard for this company to do bad big tag matches.
I like that they're making Korakuen special so they don't have to do it, but they can lean on their tag title matches for main events if they want to.
And I have a hot take before we get
it should have been the main event.
No, because this was actually my second favorite match of the night. I thought it was the best, but the actual main event was my favorite, and I'll explain why when we get there.
Yes,
however,
that was very well done.
However, is it bad to say that the Twin Stars are the title in Marigold right now from a pure output standpoint?
Well, they've been defended the most.
Yeah, I was going to say they get defended frequently. They're usually good to great.
Yeah.
Is it we're just at a point where those are quality-wise the best titles in the company right now?
You're probably right. I think it would go for me Twin Star World National Superfly right now, I think. The world's only got one defense. So it's
what a one defense it was.
But it was an incredible defense. And the next defense will be incredible. The United National, we'll get to it. Miku's been good, but I don't think she's exceeded in any match necessarily. Maybe the Koki one, just because it was better than expected.
I have a note about it, so I won't speak on too much, but I get what you're going.
We'll talk about her and Suzuki in a second. But before that, an important match was made for first string. Koki Amare, obviously teaming with a different tag partner, GHC Women's Champion now. By the way, even though she's champion, we're still coming out to a Tommy's theme, which is the right choice, by the way. Better theme.
Yeah, I love it. It's good.
She laid down the challenge to Chika Goto for the GHC Women's Championship. It will happen. First stream January 3rd. Chika Goto steps into the ring against her tag partner. This is what it's all about, Xavi. This is your Rock and Austin. This is why you watch.
Man, it was a Google translation, but basically Goto essentially was just oh, I'm excited to stand back beside you. Oh, is that what you thought I was gonna say? I kicked your fucking ass. I don't know if you forgot, so I'm gonna do it again. Let me tell Koki something right now. That Mickey Mouse run, it's over. It's time for the Kobashi to get the GHC. It's up, baby.
Crazy you said this was a Google translation.
Yes, sir.
I think it's a fantastic match to put on that card. Yeah. These two obviously have a lot of fanfare.
I just want everybody to know. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Oh, I was just gonna say at the end of it, them coming back together will be a very good moment.
Yes, but I don't think anybody understands that as a Noah fan, nobody screams GHC more than Coach Chika. This is Takayama. This is Akiyama. This is Kobashi. This is Misawa. Kanemaru. This is Atsushi Aoki, Kotaro Suzuki. This is Shiozaki all rolled into one. This is Sugira. Come on.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It seemingly crosses out a Noah the New Year defense, which is fine because
even if they don't, I think they could still do a defense. They can just do what New Japan does whenever they jump the shark on title matches. Like, okay, if they're champion by the time this happens, this will be a title match.
Yeah. Well, no, the New Year's. That's true. Marigold can flip it if they want. Anyways, we're locked into that. It's gonna be special. It's gonna be special, folks. That's match number 1 made, but we have more to
number
come.
2, because we got Saree's
well, we have
debut.
Yes,
and
that's
the
true.
world title match. Well, that's not set, so I guess
Yeah. I was just saying, like, this is the first official set match, like, 2 people involved. But next up, we had the United National Championship match, which did not main event this show, and actually ended up being the right choice, I think, based on the way that
100%.
final match went. It was Miku Aono defeating Natsumi Showzuki in what was a very solid match. Good.
Oh, okay. I was waiting. First of all, Showzuki was in her bag offensively here. She was like pulling everything out. I just want you to know that right now. I'm glad Showzuki got this big match with Miku, because I think she has had a lot of things working against her as far as when it comes to defending the Superfly. Her and Yuzuki ended up being fine, but their chemistry isn't the greatest. Obviously, the Hummingbird match, the Matsui match was good, but it was like dead as far as the crowd. But she's such a world-class pro wrestler, and she got to show it all off here. I don't know if you saw it, but there was an interview, and only like Google translated a little bit, so I didn't read the whole thing. But she essentially talked about how she had retired previously, joined Actors Girls. Now she's at Marigold. She just essentially was just like, if I don't keep trying now, I won't get this chance again, because this is, if I retire again, it's over. So like, I want to win all the belts. And I was like, that's what listen, red belt Natsumi Showzuki is going to move me tremendously when it happens. The diving double knee drop she did was probably the best one she ever hit, just because the form she did. I was like, that's tremendous. I love Iono's Tiger Driver. It's not one fluid motion, it's a 2-step, and she just kind of throws them up in the air. The styles clash into the Texas Cloverleaf led to the win for Aono, but I thought the finish was a little too abrupt for me, because it seemed like the comeback and the finish all happened in just one swoop motion, and I didn't really like that.
It was a flat finish.
But also I think the problem with these Aono title defenses is she's a good wrestler, but these last 2 title matches specifically, both Nozaki and Showzuki were the better wrestler coming out of it. They had the bigger chip on their shoulder than she did, and like it almost feels like that they wanted it more to like actually win, and she just ended up winning. And that's not a fault to Miku Aono, because like I said, she's a great wrestler. It's just that she's been a victim of her last 2 opponents having something to prove and wanting to prove it on the big stage. And it makes her reign very weird, because the matches have been good. She's been great, but it's just that her oppositions have stepped up to a bigger degree. Aside from the Koki match, of course, but yeah.
It's very interesting with Miku, because I think her best singles matches have come without the title involved. Whether it be some of the Mirai ones, and then the Sareee one, and the Mai Sakurai Dreamstar matches. I think those are all her best singles. And I just find like it's interesting for her title match, because I think she feels she needs to be the one dominating, maybe, and she's just better when it's 50-50.
I was going to say, do you think she needs to go more 50-50? Because like this match and the Nozaki match, they were on top and she was kind of working from underneath.
Yeah, it needs to be 50-50, because I think a lot of her quality is still her offense, or she has to be like destroyed by like someone like Sareee, but that's very different. Because that match was about her surviving. In these title matches, it feels like, I don't know, there's just not the full flow. They're still very good. Like I want to say they're good matches, but I know she can have great matches, and I do think I'm with you. Like both Showzuki and Nozaki kind of walk out of them better. That being said, with the next title match being Mai Sakurai at First Stream, I do think that's when we again shift, and that will be probably her best defense. I also think it'll be her last defense, but I do think it'll be her best defense. I'm very locked into a Mai Sakurai title. And if you say again, if I said that at the beginning of the year, I would have been like, huh?
Yeah.
But it's just crazy how things change.
I really want to pencil in on it when we talk about the main event, but it's so fascinating where we are compared to the launch, where we are just so ecstatic about Mai Sakurai becoming the United National Champion at the first Oda Award show for Marigold. It's fascinating how times change.
It's insane. It's insane, but I applaud the incredible growth that she's had. Obviously, when Julia left, she just said, I need to be better, and she's done it. And I think that title match will be great. I think he kind of let them get a little crazy, a little loose, like a Julia-esque main events at times. And it should be great. So that's your that's your number 2 first stream official match. Well, we haven't got graphics or anything yet, but that's 2 big title matches. Of course, Utami will challenge the winner of Sareee versus Nanai. She'll face Sareee. And then, of course, Sareee will make her debut. So, hell of a big 4, I think, for that show. Anything else is just an added bonus. But then let's get to your main event. Kind of the real shock was when they announced that Sareee versus Nao Ishikawa would main event this show. I said this earlier. Somehow, the injury to Nanai benefited 2
Everyone
stories
involved. Yeah, I was going to say it benefited everybody.
So I put this match on and I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm interested to see what a Nao Ishikawa main event is. And most of it, listen, she's facing Sareee. She's just getting mopped, okay? Like that is most of the match. But the crowd loves this woman. And the crowd believes in this woman. She doesn't believe in herself, but the crowd believes in this woman. And that's what matters. And I'm watching this match. I'm like, this was the perfect main event. Anything else would have been wrong somehow. Like, that's crazy. You had a championship match between 2 champions. You had a great top of the line, probably the best tag match they've done so far. Or maybe second best. Either way, in the conversation. And this is still the match that needed to main event. Because Sareee has rechanneled right after the Bozilla match. The Bozilla match was about proving to herself she needed to win. Right? She needed to prove, okay, I need to get that demon. I need to get that win back. But she's now flipped back to the I hate everyone in this company, including you, passion. And I am going to make everything dedicated to you. And watching this match, poor Nao Ishikawa, she's so good at getting her ass kicked. It's a blessing and a curse. But Nao Ishikawa benefits so much from this. It moves her story forward. She main evented today's show against the world champion. She didn't have much of a shot, but she kept fighting. She kept fighting, and that only gets the crowd more invested in this woman. I know people talked about, oh, well, her first win came on a random show. It was a win over, come on. It wasn't a win over a Nanai or a Sareee or a Utami. I'm right. Like that, it's different, right? For them, they're not going for the Waka Tsukiyama story with Nao Ishikawa because they see more for now than Waka ever had coming her way in Stardom. Because Nao Ishikawa is someone that connects very well, and I think it's a solid wrestler. And when Nao Ishikawa hits that suplex on Sareee, I was like, here we go. She got one in. Now, she ended up getting absolutely crushed after that. But when Sareee picks her up after the stomp, then points at Nanai, and it says, yeah, I snapped your neck with yep. She did the throat slash. I was like, man, there's just no one better than her right now. She just gets
face
it.
match, man. That face.
The amount of times I applaud Rossi for just being like, here, have the world title, tell the stories for us, because that's what Sareee does. It's brilliant and it's worked perfectly. And this match set up that title match to be that much better. It set up Nao Ishikawa to move forward and grow. I don't know how Sareee versus Nai is anything less than a top of the line match of the year.
I'll say it. I'll say it. It'll be better than the Dreamstar match. I'll say it.
I think so too. One, it's in Saree's home base, so obviously it'll be better. Shinjuku Face, are you kidding me? And 2, there's just more. There's more behind this. That Dreamstar match built for this. And we're going to go into that match, and these two are going to kill each other. And that's why we're here. The power of Zenjo lives on, ladies and gentlemen.
Ah, man, just imagine at the launch of this company, you sat us down and you're like, hey, Sareee versus Nao Ishikawa in a non-title match is main eventing the final Korakuen Hall show of the year. Nao Ishikawa, who started off this launch being upset at the Actors Girls coming over and, not happy and starting this story, and now she's arguably the most compelling person in the company. She's constantly improving in the ring to me. I like what she does in the ring. That's up for discussion for people, but I like what she does. But I think one thing that separates her from the rest of the wrestlers in the company is the natural fire she has when fighting back. A lot of the wrestlers seem to like force the babyface fire up, but it's just like natural for her. Like you want to root for her when you see her try to make that comeback and overcome the hurdle. And the crowd just eats it up every time. Like the Ishikawa chants led by Nanai. And Sareee, the first forearm she threw at Sareee was so good that Sareee kind of had to smile. I was like, oh, okay. And then she like caved her chest in, but that's now does that Everest German fantastic. The throat slash, the point in the Nanai before the Uranagi was incredible. Like you said, I think the Nanai injury helps everybody involved because now gets this main event.
Except for Nanai.
Yeah. Well, differently.
She didn't have the brace on though. That was a good sign.
Now gets this main event. Crowd adores her. She gets more sympathy because she's fighting for Nanai, and she's continually trying to prove herself to Nanai, and Nanai is just like more so worried about her well-being because Saree's trying to kill her. But she's also believing in her more than she did before, because she's taken on this big challenge and she did so well. But Nanai now has more motivation to try and beat the brakes off of Sareee, because she went out here, she did this, and then she was just like, hey, I'm gonna be honest, Nanai, I don't even need the Uranagi to beat you. And Nanai's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you I'm gonna make you do it. I'm honest, man. Don't you play with me, man. And then obviously I think for Sareee, it helps her in the sense that the Uranagi, she usually needs like two of those or like the wrist clutch to win. Now the Uranagi is just a kill move again because she did, not intentionally, but she hurt Nanai on it. So now it's just like a kill move again. So I think there's so much added wrinkles. Like the pop when Nanai kicks out of the Uranagi at Shinjuku face. Oh man, I'm excited. This was my favorite match of the night. Like I said, it's hard not to be invested in Nao Ishikawa. I think if they play their cards right, she's going to be probably the most compelling person in this company when she gets one of the singles belts. But that's, them playing their cards right. She continues to make these big strides. And then Nanai and Sareee, what else do you want to say? I don't think I've been more excited for a match this late in the year than I am for that match.